Hello Revolution students, and welcome back to another video on the Russian Revolution area of Study 1. In this video I'm going to look at the Tsarina Alexandra and how she contributed to the February 1917 revolution. One of the biggest things she did in contributing to the revolution was no fault of her own. It was the fact that she was German, so she came from the German Grand Duchy of Hesse and by Rhine. This wasn't too much of a problem before the war, before World War I broke out in late July, early August 1914. But when that occurred, she then came to be known as the German woman, and many Russians believe that she was actually a German spy and feeding military secrets to the Kaiser, the German Kaiser, and helping the German forces to defeat the Russians. Her relationship with Rasputin was also a big issue, because Rasputin was seen as having too much influence both over the Tsarina as well as the Tsar himself. So this combination of her relationship with Rasputin and her German nationality damaged the Tsar's credibility and authority as a leader. Another big contributing factor was when she ran the civilian government with Rasputin from August 22nd, 1915, and that was the date when the Tsar appointed himself Commander-in-Chief of the military, and when he went to the front to fight against the Germans, to the February Revolution and the Tsar's abdication in 1917. This had a huge impact upon the Tsar's support, particularly within the upper classes, because when the Tsarina and Rasputin were running the civilian government, they decided to appoint into positions of power, such as the Prime Minister and so forth, into the ministry, their supporters and lackeys. And this led to a lot of political or governmental instability, and it's known as ministerial leapfrogging. And we've got a piece of evidence there. So you can see, for example, during 1915 and 1916, there were 4 prime ministers. Each of them replaced by the Tsarina and Rasputin when they saw fit. A consequence of ministerial leapfrogging was that it undermined the support of the aristocracy, because it was the aristocracy who filled these important positions, and it also undermined the support of the liberals for the Tsar, because they also did not like the fact that these ministers were being replaced willy-nilly, and they were being appointed not because of merit, but because they were supporters of the Tsarina and Rasputin. Another key contributing factor was that the Tsarina herself actually encouraged the Tsar not to grant concessions or work with the deputies in the Duma. So she, like the Tsar, she believed in autocracy. She did not like parliamentary democracy. She was resistant to democratic reform, and as a consequence, this undermined the Duma's support for the Tsar and pushed them closer and closer to revolution. Alright, so that's our overview of how the Tsarina contributed to February 1917. Let's just have a look at a couple of historical interpretations now. So I've got 2 here. Before we get into that, let's just have a look. There's a nice picture of the Tsar with his family. So the Tsar and the Tsarina, the 4 daughters. His son is not there, her son is not there, but they're going out on a nice promenade in the carriage. Okay, here are a couple of the historical interpretations. So the first is from Richard Pipes, and the second is from Sheila Fitzpatrick. And Richard Pipes writes, given his, Nicholas II's, diffident personality and lack of appetite for power, Nicholas might have proven willing to come to terms with the opposition, that's within the Duma, were it not for his spouse, Tsarina Alexandra, who was destined to play a major and very negative role in the final years of the old regime. So Richard Pipes is laying some of the blame for the revolution and the fall of the Tsar at the feet of the Tsarina. Sheila Fitzpatrick writes, when Nicholas assumed the responsibilities of Commander-in-Chief of the Russian army, which took him away from the capital for long periods, Alexandra and Rasputin began to exercise a disastrous influence over ministerial appointments. And she's alluding to there the ministerial leapfrogging that we just spoke about before. Relations between the government and the Duma deteriorated drastically. So she's pointing out that this ministerial leapfrogging undermined the Duma support for the Tsarist regime. Alright, so there are a couple of historical interpretations about how the Tsarina contributed to the February 1917 revolution. I hope you have found this video useful for your study of the Russian Revolution area of Study 1, and I shall see you next time. Goodbye.